This amateur radio roundtable is brought to you in part by ICOM America. All right, welcome everybody. Hey, today is Tuesday, September the 19th.
Wow.
September 19th. Man, time is flying, man.
It is indeed.
Hey, we got a good show for you tonight. We're going to be talking about Ham Radio Deluxe here in just a couple minutes. You guys, if you're on our Facebook group, you probably saw Yazoo had to cancel out on us tonight. We will have them on again here soon. So we're not going to be pressured, to cut off any time soon with HRD, and that's good. If there's any time left, I'm sure Walter and I can probably find something to talk about.
We'll make it up as we go along.
Well, one of the things I want to talk about, the 630 meter band is opening up next month. We're going to get on it. We're going to make contacts, DX contacts. Did you know a dipole on 630 megs, a dipole is only about 1,000 feet long?
Is that it?
Yeah. So we have to wrap that thing around the yard a couple times.
We will.
All right. So hey, everybody on listening in on International Shortwave Radio Station WBCQ, welcome. We're glad to have you on tonight, listening on 5130 kilohertz. Hey, if you're out there listening tonight, send us an email to tom@w5kub.com and let us know where you are and how the signal's sounding tonight, and if it's even getting to your part of the country or the part of the world. We've got a few listeners down in Costa Rica and some in Europe that listen some, but we're always interested in shortwave signal reports. And if you're listening out there, you can, and if you got internet, you can join us at w5kub.com, w5kub.com, and for new people in the chat room, you can also go up to the top of the page and join our Facebook group. We'd love to have you join our Facebook group. It tells you all about where our show is going to be and who's going to be on the show, and it's just a great place for posting ham radio questions and information and so forth. I see a statement in the chat room. Turn the link on to WBCQ. We do have the audio going up to Maine to WBCQ. Maybe they're just not hearing it up there. I don't know.
They may have the same atomic clock and just turning it on.
Yeah, they may have the same clock. That's true. Okay, so let's see. Where were we here? Let's see. Hey, Katie is in England, I think, tonight. We're going to do a special show with Katie, I think, probably by next week. We're going to do a special show from Scotland with Katie at a Scotland club, and that's going to be a lot of fun, so you won't want to miss that. And let's see, tonight we're going to talk right now. Let's just jump into Ham Radio Deluxe. And tonight we have with us Mike Carper. Let me see if I can get Mike on here. Here we go. There's Mike. Let me get his name up here. And we got Mike in here. And there he is. Mike Carper, WA9PIE. Now, what a call is that, man? I mean, you gotta be able to.
That's a lucky draw.
That's a lucky one, isn't it? Anyway, hey, Mike is the Chief Information Officer of Sears and Hometown Outlet Stores. He's got over 30 years experience in engineering and support of telecommunications and information technology. He's internationally recognized as a technology leader, and he's a quoted authority in security, asset management, and IT operations, processes, and so forth, just to mention a few. And not only just to mention that, he is also a rock star. He is a rock and roll guy, I understand, and he plays the guitar.
How about that?
I think he does. So anyway, over to you. Hey, how you doing, Mike? How you doing there, man? And tell us.
I'm doing good.
Hey, first tell us about your rock star status.
Oh, good grief! Who told you that?
Well,
somebody's on the chat room.
No.
And somebody's on the chat room.
No, they didn't tell me there. I found it other places. Nobody said anything about it. You're not in a witness protection. I don't suppose. So tell us a little about your rock and roll days there, man, and what you do. Are you in a band?
I was in a band for about just under 10 years, about 9 years and some change, and played all through the Midwest, and met a lot of interesting, now famous people, and had a blast. It was like my misspent youth. A party began about the time I turned 17 years old that didn't end until I was about 26.
Wow. Okay. So, do you still play?
I do. I play. I always play a fundraiser in time, just outside of, or in Times Square at the Hard Rock in January for an event that I participate in with the National Retail Federation. But I try to stay current.
All right. Look, let me just tell you. Every night after our formal part of the show, we have an informal part of the show called Hangout, where we allow up to 10 people join us on video, and they come on the show. We leave the webcast going, and it gets quite amusing at times when we do a Hangout. Sometimes that's more interesting than the show. So tonight in Hangout, if you would like to just come in on Hangout and play something for us, or show off your musical skills there, boy, that'd be cool.
Certainly no pressure or anything like that.
Well, look,
we'll
Mike is a partner and owner of HRD, and we want to talk about HRD tonight, Mike. So I'm not sure where to get started, but you want to give us a little history about HRD and just kind of walk us through things?
Sure. I've got a slide on this that I'll probably skip here in a minute, but basically, Ham Radio Deluxe was started as a program in development by a guy named Simon Brown, HB9DRV, and Phil Halpin, PH1PH, I think. I don't know if it's called in my head. He passed away in 2005. But by 2005, they had something like 20,000 users worldwide. And by the time 2010 rolled around, Simon, his interest kind of turned towards software-defined radio, and he decided he didn't want to be involved in it anymore. And I talked to him a little bit, and he said, no, I said, I've got other interests, and I'm going to devote my interest to those things. And there were a lot of people using, at this point, a little over 100,000 people using the software, who at that point weren't really going to get any updates. And over the course of 2010, 2011, there were people writing articles on the internet saying, Ham Radio Deluxe, rest in peace. And I like the software. So I found out about it when I was driving down the road, listening to a 2-meter repeater in Pittsburgh, and the guys were talking about it, and I tried it and thought it's nice, but it doesn't do everything I want it to do. So by the time Simon lost interest, it took me about 9 months to talk him into selling it to me, but he sold me the source code and all the rights to Ham Radio Deluxe sometime in late 2011. And I'm not a software developer. I've developed some software, but it's not my core thing. Meanwhile, I have a full-time job, as you mentioned, so I didn't really have time to jump in and try to learn how to code this stuff in Visual Studio, C++, and so on. So I needed some other people to jump in this with me, so I brought in Rick Rule, W4PC, and Daughtry, K0CBH, who's the president of TimeWave. And so we incorporated in 2012, and kind of started pulling in some folks. We released several free versions in early 2012 to get our developers up to speed with the code and kind of get a number of the things in the backlog taken care of. And then we started selling the product in late 2012, and we've been doing fairly well ever since. And to lead into your next question, over the course of the first 5 years, we grew the business quite a bit, pretty much putting all of what we were making on the sale of software back into development and support. So it's not, for me anyway, I'm not bashful about telling people it's not a money maker, but what we really wanted to do, or what I really wanted to do, was help avoid Ham Radio Deluxe from becoming extinct. By the end of 2012, Rick's interest turned towards some other things. Rick was running the business. We referred to him as the managing partner, so Rick was the managing partner. Randy and I, were doing our own day jobs, and occasionally I was interested in getting some features put forward, but Randy and I didn't really have an active role in running the business through the end of 2016. When Rick left at the end of 2016, Randy and I jumped into it, and so he and I have been kind of running the business, tag teaming this thing as a part-time job for the last 9 months. We've replaced almost everything that ran the business. We've replaced a lot of code. The only thing that we have in place that we had when Rick left is the license server, which we're in the process of replacing that with a commercial product. So a lot of changes, but it's all worked out well for us. We're doing quite well. Our customers have responded to the changes quite well. We've got a lot of fans out there, and we love them.
Well, let me do this too. Let me just announce to everybody out in the chat room there that we will take questions, interactive questions, through the chat room. And Walter, you can help us watch for those.
We'll do that.
And we're going to take questions through the chat room for Mike. And also, maybe in a little while, we'll open the phone lines up if a person wants to call in. Now, Mike, as I mentioned earlier, and I already see in the chat room, there's a couple people that there seems to be some, I don't know, controversy or something going on. Something happened and maybe they didn't like a certain thing, or maybe they don't like the way something has changed. And maybe you've just now hit on some of that, but is there anything you want to say about any of the issues that people might, come to you with? Go ahead, Mike.
Sure. There were a lot of complaints that came in towards the end of last year that Randy and I became aware of, that people were being mistreated as customers. And some of the business practices that were being used were not appropriate. And so as these things came to light at the end of last year, and Randy and I jumped in to take a closer look at that point, we didn't like what we saw. So once Rick left at the end of 2016, we significantly changed everything. I mean, our focus now is entirely upon serving our customer. Customer service is the first thing that we think about. And, the change has been well received by our customers. Now, there's a couple things that I guess probably worth pointing out. One is that when I talked to Simon in 2010 about selling the software and the rights to Ham Radio Deluxe to us, the first and only concern he had was, well, I'm a little concerned about the backlash of people who've been using our software for free for all this time. And since you're not a developer, Mike, then you're going to have to hire a developer, and you're going to have to figure out how to pay them. So you're going to have to charge people for the software so you can pay the developer, which is pretty much what's going on. And that's true. I mean, that was his concern. So there's a certain backlash from some of the folks who were using the software for free, and we can't give it away for free anymore, just simply because I'm not the developer, and I can't I can't pay these guys to write code out of my own pocket. So we're pretty much putting what we get out of Ham Radio Deluxe back into Ham Radio Deluxe to continue advancing the features and functionality of Ham Radio Deluxe. But again, to more directly address the things that were going on at the end of 2016, when I jumped into it, I didn't see what I liked. I didn't know. I would put it this way: I didn't like what I see, and neither did Randy. Not something that I wanted to be involved in at that point. So the change that was made at the end of the year with Rick leaving opened the door to Randy and I to run the business the way we wanted to run the business and treat customers the way we believe they should be treated. I mean, you've got a better Southern accent than I do, Tom, but I was born in the South and raised by a mother that was raised in the South, and I was born with pretty much one rule, and it's the golden rule: you treat people the way you want to be treated. And that was not happening prior to the end of 2016, but it's absolutely happening this year. and we're going to continue that going forward.
Well, that's great. And being born in the South and live in the South, we're always fixing things, right? And I know you're going to fix any problems with HRD, but we're fixing to go to the store.
Yeah, fixing to eat.
Fixing to eat. We're always fixing things.
That's
down
right.
here. So
I once worked when I worked for a telephone company. I was temporarily located on the West Coast for about just under 2 years, and when I got there, they would say, what are you going to do this evening? And I'd say, well, I'm fixing to go get dinner here in a few minutes, and they'd look at me like, what? You're fixing what?
yeah.
We understand.
So I know you got a PowerPoint presentation. You also you give to people and talk about a little to tell people some of the features. What HRD does, and I think it'd be good maybe to jump into that real quick, and then we can cover some questions. Questions I'm already seeing in the chat room. Can HRD be used with iMac? Is that the same as a Mac, iMac, or is iMac something different?
iMac is the desktop version.
Oh, is that what it is?
It's the desktop. That's an iMac.
I've always been just a Windows guy,
That's why I'm here to help you.
Yeah, okay, good.
Okay.
and also plans for a waterfall maybe for radios like the IC7300. You might answer those too, and then let's jump into the presentation.
Yeah, that's a good question. With regards to the waterfall, we haven't pulled that into Ham Radio Deluxe yet. We do have a number of rigs in test, and we're looking at some of the features. But for me to believe that somebody wants to have that waterfall on a PC like that, then maybe they're going to take the very beautiful radio and put it under the desk or something. But we're going to look at that. It's been requested by a few people. We're definitely going to look at that.
Okay.
What was your previous question, Tom?
It was did you just answer the iMac or the 7300?
Would it work with the iMac?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have Mac or Linux version yet. It's on the roadmap. Probably we won't get around to having a serious conversation about it until sometime late next year. But we do have a number of people who are using Ham Radio Deluxe on a Mac. The best way I've seen it done is with using VirtualBox running on the Mac operating system, and then you load Windows in VirtualBox, and it runs just fine. Some people tell me that a MacBook or a Mac computer runs Windows better than Windows does, or PC does, but we'll see. But it seems to work very well that way. We've got a number of people doing it that way.
Okay, very good. Let's jump into the presentation and see a little about what you have to say there, and then we'll pop in with questions as they come in. Okay.
Let me get back over here and tee up my screen for us. We left dead air in the middle of.
Oh, that's okay.
There you go.
That's
That's all
okay.
right.
Okay.
I've never even seen HRD work, so I'm looking forward to this presentation and seeing what all it does. This is cool.
Well, one of the things I thought I might do, because not everybody who've used this will know what Ham Radio Deluxe is, right? So let's tell them. I can talk a little bit about what the program is, what it does, and then I can go into maybe a little bit of a demonstration here.
Oh, that'd be neat.
1 second.
Let's get you in here, Walter.
I'm still trying to get to the sharing screen.
And Mike, if you can move over to your right, just about 8 inches. That way I can get our picture-in-picture in better. There we go.
Okay. 1 second. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Not a problem.
Must be that Windows machine.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I knew somebody was going to say that. All right. We're good?
Oh, it's coming up. Yeah. Let's take us
Here
off.
we go. Take us off. Yeah.
There it is.
All right. Perfect. So I thought I'd just talk a little bit about what HRD is and just give people the ability to kind of get a presentation. One of the things I want to say is that at the end of this presentation, I'll give people a coupon code to get 20% off Ham Radio Deluxe if they want to buy, and I'll give that code at the end of the presentation.
Very
I
good.
talked about the
That's
history.
super.
I'm not sure there's much that I can add to that. We're having a pretty good year. A lot of things are going right for us this year, and it's a welcome change, really, from some of the controversy that you mentioned. I mean, our customers are happy, and I was doing the W9DXCC convention over the weekend with my beautiful wife, who managed to get bitten by a black widow spider, and she's trying to recover from that. But there's a lot of people coming up to saying, "Man, we love your software." I don't get any negative feedback at the shows we do. I don't get negative feedback at Dayton. I don't get negative feedback at the shows we've done recently. Whereas I did in prior years whenever I saw things going on, which, by the way, Katie Allen used to work for Ham Radio Deluxe or HRD back before I was actively involved in the company. And I happened to meet her this year at Dayton for the first time, so it was a lot of fun to meet Katie, and I know you guys are close buddies. So here's who's involved at this point. I mentioned Randy and I. The development team includes 2 people. Eric's been there for a while. He's been doing a lot of the work for us over the past few years. We've added a gentleman named Mike Blazak, K7ZCZ, and he was with Microsoft for a little over 20 years within the Visual Studio C++. MFC product group. He's written books on those development languages, and he's a really proficient coder. So we're glad to have him on board. I'll talk a little bit about some of that he's done here in a moment. On support, I'll tell you what, I can't go anywhere that someone doesn't tell me about Tim and great experiences they've had with Tim. You know, my wife was even mentioning at the show this past weekend that, you know, there's people coming up, "Hey, we love Tim. Tim, you know, we call Tim. Tim connects to our computer. He takes control of the computer. He fixes everything for me." Yes, so we really enjoy Tim. He's been around with us for some years. Kevin Young, who lives in Florida, has been in and out with us for a few years, but he's been with us pretty consistently for the last 8-9 months. And Ferry Holsterver, I know you know Ferry. Ferry's with us, and it takes a lot of calls from the people in Europe. He's multilingual. That helps out a lot.
Yeah, Ferry is in he's in a chat room tonight with us, and we've been talking.
Yeah, he's a good guy. We enjoy having him around. He was with, you know, there's a couple of things that I guess are worth pointing out here too, is that Kevin and Ferry were both with the company in years prior to my direct involvement. And I think there were a number of people just, you know, in addition to the fact that I'm aware that customers left, we have some employees who've left during those years because they didn't really like the way customers were being treated. But, you know, people like Kevin and Ferry are back with us again. And I think, you know, if you talk to these folks, you'd find that the culture of the company and the way we're treating customers has really kind of changed, and they're really excited about it. Sales support: Tim's wife Peggy, my wife Tammy, and Veronica Hernandez, who's been with us for longer than most of the rest of the folks on the team.
And I see Tim. Tim's in the chat room. Looks like everybody's here tonight.
I went and posted this on. We've got a very active social media environment on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, all those kinds of things. So I went and posted this earlier. Wouldn't be surprised if we didn't have a good number of people that are HRD fans joining from some of our social media feeds.
That's great.
We've got a really wonderful beta tester team. Many of them have been with us for a number of years. Some of the better ones that we've had left, and they've come back, and we're really excited to have people that have come back and want to stick with the program. There's 5 applications in the suite, so this is it for folks who who aren't real familiar with ham radio deluxe or have heard a little bit about it and don't know a lot about it, there are basically 5 applications in the suite, and I'm going to show you some, and I'll probably demo a little bit of a couple of things here in a moment. Rig control. This is the main screen that people can control the rig with. I'll talk about these in more detail in a moment. Logbook, digital master, which is where all the sound card digital communications goes on. Rotor control, and the satellite tracking app. So in the rig control, we support most of the capable radios from all these manufacturers you see here. Last weekend at the show, we were the only software maker at the W9DXCC show, and we were in the event with Elecraft, Yaesu, ICOM, and Flex. Got a really good relationship with all those companies. In fact, we'll probably talking with Gerald at Flex, and we'd like to start developing directly to their API. And when we get that done, we'll be the first Windows application that directly integrates to Flex with their native API. So I'm looking forward to moving forward on that. Total station control. From one screen, you can control multiple radios simultaneously. There's a remedial, I call it a remedial band scope. It only looks at the AF range, but or the pass bands, or the AF range. So it's functional. We'd like to improve that over time. You basically can create memories for all your radios, so different frequencies. If, for example, you know that there's a de-expedition coming up and it's one of your needed countries, and you know what frequency it's going to be in, you can basically build all that stuff up in there and do a little bit less tuning when you go try to work them. It works with all the virtual comm interfaces and so on. So this is the screen, and on the left-hand side, I've put some of the view of what they call the favorites, and you can see there where you can kind of think of it as memory channels for your radio. The nice thing about this is that if you've got multiple radios, for example, I've got an ICOM and a Yaesu sitting on my desk, and both of them have different kinds of menus for getting to things like memory channels and the like. With this, I don't have to run through those memories. I can switch between those radios. I can go to any one of those memory channels as though they were memories that were built right into the radio. So all the functionality that you would have with the radio is pretty much built into this. You can see all the VFO settings, mode settings, everything from controlling the keyer in your radio to switching bands and all the things that you would need to do if you wanted to put your hands on the radio, but it just saves you the time. Now, for me, I'm a DXer primarily, so putting the rig control screen or starting up the rig control screen is a little bit of a means to an end for me, because what I really want to be able to do is get to the logbook and get to the DX cluster and start working from DX. So in the logbook, of course, it integrates to the rig control out of the box. We support all the major DX cluster versions. My DX Spider node is connected to several dozen mega clusters around the world. So we've got probably 600-800 people who connect to my cluster. It's WA9PIE-2 if you want to look it up. And then we integrate with third-party products. This is pretty important. We've done some recent work on this, and so it's worth taking a moment to talk about this. There's a lot of activity, and you were talking earlier about digital modes and what's going on with digital modes, whether it's JT65 or Whisper or FT8. And you almost, if I were looking at my DX cluster right now, it almost seems like 50% of the spots are FT8. And I'll talk about digital modes a little bit more in a moment, but it's really hard for us at the rate that digital modes are advancing right now. It would be really hard for us to keep up with, packing more digital modes into the digital application. I'll show you in a moment. So we've taken the approach of open integration with third-party products. For example, there's a lot of people who use QSO Relay as a way to get to their JT65 applications, whether it's JT Alert or others. And we've been working with Chris, BK2BYI, and he just recently helped us sort through the integration API between our application and his. And actually, it's the same thing that works with JT Alert and many others. And so we've cleaned up a lot of that. And Chris's report that he gave me today was that it's working fantastic. And so we're glad to hear that. So you can be running your FT8 application, and the contacts will go straight into our logbook. The work status indicators are put in place to help DXers find the DX that they need to work. I'll show you that a little bit more probably when we do the demo. We support over 200 awards and their endorsements in 17 different awards programs. It's a pretty advanced awards reporting application. I'll show you that a little bit in a moment. We've got one-click upload and download for Logbook of the World, automatic uploads to EQSL, Club Log, QRZ Log, and HRDlog.net. We do call sign integration, lookup integration with all the major providers like QRZ, XML subscription, or their CD. We just recently added a number of the free services like MQTH and Call Look Info and so on. So you don't necessarily have to have a subscription to QRZ XML. We like Fred and we want to support Fred, but there's also some other free options that you can use now that weren't available when we put out the free versions in the past, or even those options were added probably about 9 months ago. The country atlas, I'll show you that here in a moment, but if you're working some DX or listening to some DX and you want to find out a little bit more about that country, we've got a neat feature for looking it up. It integrates with Google Earth or Google Maps, where you just kind of click on it. It'll take you directly to, if you want to kind of get a bird's eye view of the guy's house you're talking to, you can do it that way. You can share the logbook across multiple workstations and log real time with multiple stations on the air. You can record the audio for playback later. You can get a band map view of the spots and solar weather. So it's a full-blown console, really, for being able to get to DX quickly. And this is one of the things that I talk about, is that for a lot of us that don't have towers up, and I don't have a tower up at the moment, the only way we get through in a pileup is beating other people to the punch. And so that's all about having quick access to information, whether it's a DX cluster, being able to look through different sources of information to know when the DX is going to be in the right place for you. So I'll get to this application here again in a moment. So there's Master. This is what people know as DM780. It supports out of the box a wide variety of different sound card digital modes. I've got many of them listed there. Even within some of the ones that I've listed there are many different varieties of those. I haven't counted them. It's almost, it's a big number because the MFSK has several different versions. Even RTTY has a few different versions. And so out of the box, you can use those. You can see them in a waterfall or a spectrum display, and I'll demonstrate that hopefully here in a moment as well. There's a super sweeper mode that will decode multiple signals simultaneously, particularly good for CW, RTTY, and PSK. You can, of course, the radio is integrated to this as well with the logbook. So when you log QSOs in digital modes, they automatically go to the same logbook you would log anything else from. So there's a variety of different ways you can handle push to talk and so on. So that screen looks like this, and I'll get to this a little bit more here in a moment if we get to a demo. Rotor control. It's again one of those things that if I launch rotor control, it's for me to be able to get to the DX. You can have once you select a spot, a DX spot out of the packet cluster, you can automatically turn your antenna to the azimuth of that particular DX. It's got built-in integration for a number of different rotors there. And that's what that screen looks like. And then this is, in DM780, this is the waterfall that they call Super Sweeper, but this is, we're looking at PSK31 here. You can decode multiple different streams of BPSK31. This is kind of like a lot of other programs like Digipan and others that you've seen out there do this. Satellite tracking, I think this is cool. One of these days I'm going to actually make some satellite QSOs. I've been a ham since 1974, and I've been talking about it ever since I got my extra ticket in the 80s. That one of these days I'm actually going to make a satellite QSO, and I see these guys standing in their backyard with a Bofang, a 2-meter HT, and they're working a satellite. I guess I'd like to be able to do it with an azimuth elevation rotor and so on, but this will help you do it. You can track the satellites across the horizon. It'll control your radio and automatically adjust it for Doppler shift. You can the Keplerian elements are always up to date. Get them from their source. It'll tell you when the next pass for a particular satellite or even the moon will be coming. And the way it does Google Earth tracking is cool, and I'll show you that here in a moment. And that's what the satellite app looks like right there. So a lot of people will ask me, well, what's changed in Radio Deluxe? And it's somebody asked me, we've got a Yahoo group that we participate in, and someone said when I announced that we just released a new version 2 days ago, one of the guys said, well, what's new? I haven't used the software since I think I bought it in 2015 was his story. And he said, since 2015, what's new? And I said, well, it's really kind of a hard question to ask or to answer because so many things have changed that just to give a quick answer to that question is almost impossible. Just in this year alone, we've had 10 releases that have included about 150 different changes. But if people want information about what's changed, they go to releasenotes.ham-radio-deluxe.com, and that's we're completely transparent and open book. Everything we do is right out there for everyone to take a look at, and all the changes we've made since we've took the product commercial are generally on that change log. So the pricing for the product is a question that comes up rather often. So I want to make sure that I clarify what we're doing here. A lot of people will say, "Well, I'm a subscriber," or "I have an HRD subscription." This is something that I'm really trying to change the perception about, because in all honesty, we do not and we never have sold Ham Radio Deluxe software as a subscription. So in other words, if someone bought the software in 2012 and we gave them a license key in 2012 to use Ham Radio Deluxe, they paid us, whatever the retail price for Ham Radio Deluxe was at that time. We gave them a key. That same key is today for their software. There's no need to continue to pay for the software because they own it. What you get for $99 is a product license for Ham Radio Deluxe and 12 months of software maintenance and support. What that does is that entitles the buyer to gain direct access to our support staff through phone, email, or web, and they're guaranteed to receive any of the bug fixes or features that we introduce during that 12-month period. Now, if at the end of that 12-month period, they've got everything they need, they're not having any problems with the software, they don't need our help, they're not, we've released new features, and maybe they've looked at our release notes and they know what the features are, and they think, well, I don't need that bad, so I'll just wait. That's perfectly fine. They can continue using the software, and it'll continue to run. They can even continue to install or upgrades. It won't unlock new features all the time, but they'll get all the fixes that we provide. If at some point in time they decide they need our help, maybe they bought a new computer, or maybe they replaced a radio and they'd like to, get our support with something, or they like some of the new features that we've released, they can renew software maintenance and support on 12-month increments for 50% of what the retail price is. But that's optional. And so that's kind of how that's set up. It's really pretty similar to the way Microsoft sells Windows, or RT Systems sells their software. It's buy it once, run it forever. And take Windows for example. If you bought Windows XP, I know a lot of people are still using Windows XP, and it's continued to run just fine for them. And they don't need to keep paying Microsoft to run Windows XP, but if at some point in time they decide they want to install Windows 10, they'll end up buying Windows 10, and that's kind of how this works as well. So we do offer a couple other things. One of the things that people came to me this year at Dayton, and they told me, I've got, I don't know if I should use any other product name, so I'll leave it off. I've got a piece of software that I use for logging that's about 15 years old. It runs on DOS. I can't figure out how to get my log out of the program, or I've got the log out of that program, but I can't figure out how to normalize it and get it into your program. So one of the guys said, if you offered a service where you would convert my log, I would pay you to convert the log. And so I thought, well, okay, some people might want that service. So we offer a log conversion service up to 50,000 QSOs for $49.99, or basically $50. We've had a couple people take us up on it. One guy and my wife will tell you that it probably took me 50 hours to convert this one guy's log from a really old program. He wanted it to match his logbook of the world totals, and which is no problem. But the condition of his log, over the 15 or more years, or way more than 15 years, I suppose he was using it, made it a real challenge. I probably spent 50 hours. I didn't make a lot of money on that deal, but I was happy that he was able to get his log in, and he was able to use Amarillo Deluxe. Some people don't want to renew their software maintenance and support. They just need us on a one-off basis to help them with tech support. So we do sell one-time tech support calls for $19.99. And here pretty soon, right now, in order to, I'll hit the first topic first. In order to keep our costs down and to avoid raising the price of Ham Radio Deluxe, we broke out the cost of buying a CD. Not everybody buys a CD anymore. In fact, I've got 2 computers sitting here right in front of me. 3, actually. Not a single one of them have a place to put a CD in. So it's kind of a declining thing for us, so we took it out of the price of the software. Some people want to buy one. We sell them. We sell them through a fulfillment center that makes them for us in Minneapolis, and that way it's always the latest up-to-date version, because we keep it current. They pull it down, package it, ship it out, and they're taking care of all that for us. They ship it the same day they get the order, which is nice. Here before long, we'll be able to ship that on a thumb drive. The same company's going to be able to do that, because we've had requests for that. And so, the computers that I just mentioned, the 3 of them sitting in front of me, while they don't have a CD-ROM drive, they all have USB drives. So a thumb drive will be useful for some folks, particularly when they don't have a good internet connection. We're also going to, it may seem cheesy, but a lot of people have asked for this. We had questions about this at Dayton again this year, with people saying, we'd like to buy your hats, shirts, mugs, pens, bags, whatever. So here before holiday season, on our website, folks that want to buy Ham Radio Deluxe swag, we'll be able to get it. It'll be fulfilled by a company called Printfection. So here's some things that when people want to, get a hold of us or interact with us, these are some things, websites that I highly recommend. Let me just explain what they are. Our main website is www.ham-radio-deluxe.com. This is where you can, this is where you can go if you want to buy the product, download the product. You can download it there as an upgrade to your existing installed version of Ham Radio Deluxe. You can install it as a trial. You can get a 30-day trial. And let me say something about that, by the way. In the past, we were really stuck on, you could have like one lifetime 30-day trial. And I did not think that was a good idea for our customers, particularly since we change things and update things so often. So if you had a 30-day trial and maybe last year or something, and you want to try it again, just call us know or go to the support site I'm showing here and just say, hey, I tried your software before. I hear you doing great things, and I'd like to try it again. Can I get a new 30-day trial? We're happy to do that. The support site for people who are covered by the software maintenance and support is support.ham-radio-deluxe.com. And this is where if people have they want to request a feature, or if they want to request that someone connect to their computer and help them configure something, digital mode sound cards, rig control, and things like that. That's what Tim, Kevin, and Ferry do. For folks who aren't covered by software maintenance and support, we've got a lot of interaction between customers in our forums at forums.ham-radio-deluxe.com. I often chime in there and I'll answer questions too. You won't often see our support people on there because they're helping customers on the phone. Our enhancements and defect tracking system is at development.ham-radio-deluxe.com. So if you called us and requested a feature, we'll record that feature request for you, and we'll give you a tracking number. This is the site where you can go and see the status of those requests for new features, or if someone has found a bug in the software, they'll record it there and give you a tracking number for that. Brand new, this announced first ever anywhere on W5KUB. We're moving our to a wiki, and we think this is going to be extremely popular. So you can go to wiki.ham-radio-deluxe.com. You can search for things on the wiki. It's basically, what I did was I took the old manual and I rewrote a bunch of the material, copied in the material that was still valid, but it's a refreshed view of the manual, and you can access it on the wiki. You could print it if you wanted to. We're going to keep that current as things change, so that's the best way to get to it. You can see our Facebook and Twitter social media feeds there as well. So I'm going to do a demonstration, if that's okay, Tom.
Sure.
Is that good?
Go
Any
ahead.
questions about what I did so far?
I tell you what, let's do, Mike, stand by just a minute, and we're going to open the phone lines up in just a minute too. But let's take a 1 minute break here, and then we'll do the demonstration, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, so just stand by there. Help you make the most out of the contest season. Continue your contesting momentum with the IC7300. Ideal for the ham on the go, it's a high-performance HF transceiver with a compact design. It has RF direct sampling, 15 discrete bandpass filters, a large 4.3-inch color touchscreen, real-time spectrum scope, and an SD memory card slot. The IC7851 will give you the competitive edge you've been looking for. Raise the bar and hear what others cannot hear with this HF through 50 MHz transceiver. Features include reciprocal mixing dynamic range, a clear crystal local oscillator design, a spectrum scope, dual receivers, and digital voice recorder. Don't forget about the IC7700 and the IC7600. Both of these top-of-the-line transceivers are still available and are sure to be the perfect companion for this contesting season. Visit www.icomamerica.com/amateur for more information on ICOM radios. Okay, so we're back, and we're going to open the phone lines up. I mean, we've got several questions. I think Walter has recorded several questions that we can ask you real quick. Hey, Walter, and then I'm gonna put a phone number up on the page. Walter, you want to go ahead and give him a question or two real quick before we do a demo?
Sure. I think a couple of these may have already been answered, but we'll go over them again in case somebody didn't see it. Can you connect Arduino board to operate the AZ-EI rotors automatically?
That's a really good question, and I'll have to take it down and get back to you guys on that one. I don't know the answer to that.
Okay. We understand somebody thought there were some satellite tracking problems, glitches in the system. Is there a fix in sight for that?
We're actually, I've heard that. I'm not having it. I've been able to test it. I'm not having the trouble that other folks are mentioning. I think what I've heard is that there are certain cases where the frequency of the satellite rig are not tracked or controlled the way it's supposed to. But we were talking with the development team this week because a number of people have written me recently and said, hey, when are you going to put some more effort into the satellite program? It has been kind of neglected over the past few years, and we're definitely going to do that. We picked up the pace on everything that we've done. For example, last year we had something like 4 releases with about 42 changes. Thus far this year, we've done 10 releases with almost 150 changes. We're blowing through the backlog pretty quickly, and we're going to get back to the satellite app fairly soon.
Very good. Thank you. And somebody was asking about the rotor control. Does it compute the great circle bearing, or do they have to program in themselves?
No, it'll compute that for them.
Very good. Thank you. That's where we are.
All right, we got the phone lines open. If anybody wants to call in, they're usually pretty shy and just send a chat message in here. But let's go ahead and let's look at the demo. I'll put you back on. There you go.
Sure. All right, let me move you guys out of the way, and I'll get over here into the rig control screen. This is if you went out and did a Google search for HRD or Ham Radio Deluxe, you would almost certainly come back with this screen in the images. It's like the most iconic view of Ham Radio Deluxe, and you can really kind of get a feel for all the things that you can do. For example, if I want to change, I'm going to change the mode to, it's currently upper sideband. You can see that up here. Hopefully my mouse kind of tracks along and people see it. I want to change it to CW, and I can just click on this to change it to CW. If I want to change it to AM, whatever mode I want to change it to. There's a number of different ways to do these things, and I'll kind of track through some of that here in a moment. You can drag the slider to change the frequency. If you drag it up here, it's fairly granular, right? You can see it over here. You can also, I'm using my trackball on my mouse to scroll up and down. You can click up here, and I'm clicking up above the hertz figure there, I guess, or the kilohertz figure. And then I can go down here. I can grab this. I can swing the thing a little bit more quickly. If I want to come up here, I can type in 07035, and you can type it in freehand. So there's a lot of you can control your RF gain down here. I'm down at the bottom with these sliders. You can turn the volume up. There's just about anything you can do from the radio. You could do from this. It's almost like, I tell people, it's a little bit like turning your radio into a DSP, because for many years I used a Kenwood TS690, and I ended up just kind of putting it off to the side. You really couldn't even see the radio because everything I needed to do I could do from here. So I mentioned earlier, I kind of use this as a means to an end. I spend most of my time as a DXer looking at what's going on in the packet cluster, so I can run, work some DX. So I kind of describe a little bit of the features here, kind of give people a feel for what we're able to do. If you look down at the bottom, this is the DX packet cluster. Again, I'm connected to my own packet cluster. So this is the call sign I'm using, and this is the cluster I'm connected to. With the QRZ lookup integration, if I double click this call, this is going to retune the radio. So you see up, my VFO just changed to the frequency that was spotted. This station in Botswana apparently doesn't look like they've got any QRZ information. Let me find a different one. There we go. I'm going to double click that so it'll change the frequency on the rig. And you can see what information was gleaned from QRZ. If you want to go and look up that particular call sign in QRZ, you click this button over here. I may have to log into QRZ the first time here. Oh, there we go. There's probably a little bit of a lag between me and you here, guys, but because I'm starting to feel a little bit of a lag. So anyway, here you can see the information for that particular call sign in QRZ. You could, it's basically a browser within Ham Radio Deluxe that you can get to there. I can flip back over into my log. But all of this is, these are all pretty powerful features. Now, I only want to see the DX that I need. So I've got this filter set for band and mode because I'm really just trying to fill in band slots in my award. So if you see this icon here, for this heading, this is country, band, mode, and logbook of the world. And I'll describe these a little bit as I go along. These are all things that we added shortly after we acquired the product because before there wasn't much granularity to the information you got here. So under the country, let me describe the icons first. The red X means you have not worked this country on the country, band, or mode. The yellow yield sign means you've worked the country, but you haven't confirmed it. And the green check mark means that you have confirmed it. So under the country column, you can see every country that's here. I've worked and confirmed every one of those countries just as a country. Under the band column, I have never worked Mauritania on 80 meters. So that would be one maybe that I would want to go and work, right? Down here, this is Guernsey. And Guernsey, well, first of all, before I leave this, up here, you see the call sign, and it tells you whether or not you've worked this particular call sign before. If I go down here, it'll tell me for this country, it'll tell me whether or not, basically it's another view of the same information, but I've confirmed Mauritania on 12, 17, 20, 30, and 40, and I've confirmed them on, upper, lower, sideband, and CW. So if I go over here to the Guernsey one, and I'll go ahead and add that one in here. I haven't worked this station before, not this call sign, but you can see the yellow yield sign over here means that I have worked but not confirmed Mauritania. So I see that over here as well, that I've worked but not confirmed Mauritania. Also on CW, it indicates that I haven't confirmed it. I'd have to go and look at that because I think that that's probably not correct. So, and I think it's part of the problem here is that the slash in the call might be confusing to look up. Anyway, so that's those things. Let me talk about the awards tracking for a moment. Here in awards tracking, like I said, we're able to help people track 200 different awards in about 16, 17 different awards programs. Of course, the most popular one is DXDC. So this is my log. So we're looking at my DXDC total. Let's just take a peek at 20 meters. So I've worked 288 countries on 20 meters. I've confirmed 278. There's 10 countries that I have yet to confirm. So I'm double clicking on the 10. And that's going to show me the 10 stations, well, that's not where I got a little bit too happy about double clicking. So I'll go over here, double click here. And this shows me the 10 countries that I've worked on 20 meters that I haven't confirmed. So I want to go and confirm them. I want to go chase down the cards. So I'm going to click up here to view them. And this will show me all of the stations that I've worked out of those 10 countries. It's probably going to be something more than 10, because I've worked more than one of each country probably. It's 11. The Duke is in Falklands. If I look at these, there's one from 2015 and one from 2014, so I can decide which is actually both of them are the same guy. So I can go chase those QSL cards there. Another thing that I want to do, I'm going to close out this tab here. Are you guys seeing a lag? I'm seeing a little bit of a lag here between what's coming up on my screen and what
not too much.
It's not too bad.
Okay. Well, while that's
No, it took it a second when you brought up like QRZ a minute ago, but I mean, your interaction with your PowerPoint is pretty fast.
Let me talk a little bit about. I'm going to go into the satellite app, and then I'm going to close these two applications down. But the satellite app, one of the things that I want to show about this is I happen to be tracking the International Space Station at the moment. So what I'm going to show may not necessarily be as interesting as if we were over land. But one of the nice things is that you can track satellite as it goes over land or water, goes across the Earth with Google Earth. Here it's saying that the altitude is just under 256 miles. If I come back over here, I can see it's showing just under 256 miles at a range of 3,150 miles. It's nice because when you want to go and, I think it's interesting if you want to go and look at, if a particular satellite is tracking across your geography, it's nice to be able to go and look and see, see the ground from the perspective of the satellite. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time in the satellite app. I'm not like I said before, I'm not a satellite expert. So I'm going to leave that to the satellite folks. Okay. No. Hang on one second. Let's go over to Digital Master Hand. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. I'm going to restart it. Google Earth ran my machine low on memory. All right. Well, that's launching. I'm going to come back over into digital mode to promote. And if I can, I'm going to try to do a little bit of a demo for a RIDI demo here if I can. Hang on 1 second. I'm actually doing this with a recorded version of some of the contest activity. And I'm going to stop it for a moment just so I don't have it in the background. Hang on a second. Okay, so if I wanted to work this station right here, I can right-click on this call sign and do the lookup. And that call sign was probably incomplete, because let's say if it was yeah, I should have let it run a little bit longer. Hang on a second. Trying to get a good copy of one of these. It's not optimal because of that. I'm going to stop the recording now, but it's not optimal because I'm just playing an iPhone here. But let's see, I'll right click on that one. And I'm looking for one so it does the lookup. Here's the point. It does the lookup. And if I go and add this QSO into the log, then it'll show up right here in the same log that you're logging everything else to. That was the point of that piece of the demonstration. Going back to the awards tracking for a moment, I'm going to double click on the 10 QSOs here. And I get a list. I can click on view all. It's going to show them to me. And I can go and chase the cards. I can do the same thing for if I want to submit them to the awards programs. So let me, I'll show you that real quick. Here are 3 that I've actually confirmed, but I haven't submitted. If I want to go and get a list of those, I double click on that. It shows me the countries. If I go to view all, that's going to show me the three that I need to submit. Now they may be cards, they may be logbook of the world QSOs. My computer's got a mind of its own at the moment. So here's the one that's been confirmed on logbook of the world. These other 2 are cards. So this helps me understand which cards I need to pull, or which what I'm taking to the card checker or applying for online. We'll go ahead and shut that down. So that's kind of a drive-through of the features and functionality there, and I can probably show just about anything somebody wants to see, but if you want to go ahead and open it up for questions, happy to do that.
Okay, real fine. Let's see, we'll get you back in here. And
I got a couple more off the chat, if that's okay.
Sure.
Can you integrate log data from WinLog 32?
Yeah, we've actually done that with a number of customers too. It's another one of those things where you export the log in ADIF format, then import it. Recent versions of Logger 32, the data is pretty clean. One of the things that it has to have to make it easy is the ADIF standard supports a numbering system for countries, and if the numbers are in there, it's easy to convert. It just comes right in without any problems at all.
All right, very good. And here's somebody that must be about as technically competent as I am. It says, what happens when Microsoft abandons my operating system?
We've had that happen with Windows XP. So we developed the software using Visual Studio, and it's a Microsoft product. We generally need to stay current with Visual Studio, and which means that once Microsoft has ended support for something like Windows XP, that we have a fairly short period of time to help people move off of Windows XP.
Hi.
So, but for example, we do have people who are still running the last version of Ham Radio Deluxe that we produced for Windows XP, and they're welcome to continue doing it.
Very good. Thank you.
Any other questions, sir?
That's it for this.
Okay, well, hey, I'm interested in getting on. I've got me a copy of HRD, and I'll be loading it up here. Probably get Ferry to help me get it running, and we'll probably
you certainly do that. Ferry or Tim or Kevin would be happy to do that. I'll do it myself if you'd like. Okay,
cool. We'll do that, and maybe we'll talk about it a little bit more, and I'll show how easy it is for somebody like me to use it, because as I was telling you earlier, Mike, I've been a ham 54 years, and man, I hadn't done any digital stuff in about 40 years. Boy, I loaded this FF Digi on here the other day, and it only took me 2 days to get it working. The thing that confuses me is all the different modes. There's looks like there's 20 or 30 different digital modes, and I have no idea who's using what and what frequencies, and I mean, I even see in the setup even different things for PSK 30. I see BPSK 31 and BPSK and other numbers, and
yeah, you hit the little thing and there's about another 12 or 15 selections.
Man, so that's my problem as a new person on digital, knowing what to use and where. I have made a contact on PSK 31 now. I've copied a little radio teletype. I was in the Air Force back in the 69, 72 era, and I was a teletype repairman, and I ran a lot of teletype back then, but we ran it on real teletype machines here in the ham shack. And now with everything, computerized, it's so much easier than having all that grease and oil, in your ham shack here. So I'm anxious to start playing with some more RTTY. That'll be fun, but I need to make me a little cheat sheet that says, okay, if I want to do PSK 31, here's some common frequencies. If I want to do FT8, here's some common frequencies. So I'll kind of know, and after a time too, I guess looking at the waterfall and listening to it, you'll be able to tell the difference between some of the modes. Now today,
you can, but in DM780, for example, if you go into work PSK 31, the common frequencies for PSK 31, as an example, are already built in. So you can basically turn it up, start copying PSK 31. It'll take you directly to the frequencies that are most common for the band. Each band has a set frequency for that.
That's good. Now, you don't have, we talked a little earlier, you don't have, I noticed someone was a little upset in the chat room earlier that he couldn't copy FT8 with it, but you guys aren't supporting FT8 yet in HRD, are you?
Well, it depends on what you mean by supporting. We have integrated with QSO Relay and JT Alert in order for people to be able to essentially push those QSOs automatically into the logbook. What we don't have yet, and FT8 is a fairly new mode, and a lot of these advances in digital modes are moving fairly quickly. So we don't have FT8, for example, native in DM780. It's one of the things we'll do at some point. But what we do is integrate directly with the applications people are using for FT8, so that they don't have to worry about moving logs, back and forth between programs. It's integrated out of the box.
Okay. Anybody have any other questions for Mike here?
Last call for questions
in the chat room. We're running about 9:15 almost here, so we'll be going to hangout here in just a few minutes.
I did say I was going to give folks a coupon code.
Okay.
If you want to put our slide up, Tom.
Okay. All right. Let me do that. Let's see. Let me get it up here. There we go.
So, folks who want to pick up Ham Radio Deluxe can use coupon code W5KUB at checkout on
That's
our
cool.
website,
Cool.
ham-radio-deluxe.com. And that coupon will be good until midnight Pacific time Thursday night. So that's 0700 on the 22nd.
Okay, great. All right, well, Mike, I think we're going to move on here. We're actually getting close to the end of our show time. But, hey, it's been great talking to you about this tonight.
We have one last question.
What's the last question?
Will it decode CW?
Well, yeah, it will.
Absolutely.
I think they were wanting a
Okay.
CWD code. I think they were wanting a demo. But we'll get into that some other
okay,
time,
okay, my
probably.
bad.
Oh,
yeah.
sure.
All right. Well,
Happy to
thanks
come
very
back.
much. And hey, everybody out there, if you're interested in getting a copy of HRD, there you go. There's a coupon code. I think this is the first time we've ever been a coupon code. Look at that.
I think so. Look at that. How did you
Coupon
come up
code.
with that?
I don't know. But anyway, hey, I'm sure it's a good deal. So you got till Thursday if you want to order at that discount there. And great. And Mike, thanks a lot for coming on here with us. We're going to move on. And hey, if you want to, we're gonna put the link to Hangout in the chat room here in a little while. If you want to join us in the chat room and talk more about this, feel free to. We talk about everything in the chat room. You can even play your guitar if you want to.
We'll see.
All right, man. All right.
Thanks a lot.
Hey, Mike,
Send me
thanks
send me
a
through.
lot.
All right. Bye, guys.
All right.
Bye-bye,
goodbye.
Mike. See you.
Let's see. There we go. Okay. Well, hey, that was interesting.
That
You know?
was.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot more to that than I
Oh
envisioned.
man, I want to do so much with this this digital stuff, man. Hey, I saw. Some of you guys may have seen this. There was a guy that made a contact on FT8 using light bulbs as an antenna. And do you guys? He took one of his ceramic light bulb bases, and he screwed in a Y. You know where you put two bulbs in.
Right.
He had a 100-watt bulb on this side and a 100-watt that side. He put it up in the window, and he made a contact on FT8, 700 miles away. That's how these digital modes really receive almost signals that you can't hear. So, hey, here's what we're going to do, guys, on the show. Once I get used to this, you can get some FT8 and different things going. We're going to make a light bulb antenna, and we're going to see if we can work somebody on it. Now, back in the 60s when I got my ham license, we used light bulbs for dummy loads. We'd put that dummy load on there and tune up to the light bulb until it got the brightest. But we're going to try to make a contact for the show using a light bulb as an antenna.
We need to do that.
And then let's take it a little bit farther. Let's take a clothes hanger. Just your typical clothes hanger with a little hook on it. Let's put that out there on the end of a piece of cord. Let's see if we can make a contact with a clothes hanger. And then if any,
About the gutters.
well, the gutters would be too simple. That's a pretty big antenna. I'm talking something small. What about an umbrella? Let's use an umbrella to make a 700-mile FT8 contact with.
Take the handle off of it and
You can
jam it.
hold the umbrella while I do the transmitting.
There you go.
But we're going to try that, guys. We're gonna see if we can make that work. That'll be really cool. Hey, we got some shack pictures. Let's do those real quick. Shack pictures. I didn't know telling what we're going to get into here. Okay, let's see. Our first shack picture tonight goes to. Hey, this is a nice picture here. Look at this. John McVeigh, K4AFE. He's out in Lexington, Tennessee.
That's close to us. That's not far at all.
Is that close to Memphis?
John, you're almost in the hood here.
Oh man, I didn't know it was that close.
Yeah, Lexington. Yeah, it's not far at all.
Oh, okay.
It's in West Tennessee.
Hey, he's got a TS990 and a TS570SG and a TS570S, a Meritron AL S600, 811 amp, 50. He got a couple of 1500-watt auto tuners. I'd love to have some 1500-watt auto tuners.
That's why we go brown with the power. He's got all electricity
That's
over
right.
there.
That's right. He's got an FT2900 there. You need to check out John's QRZ page. That's K4AFE. This guy, I think. Let me think. Well, I don't know. Just check it out. And I got another one here in a minute. I want you to check this page out. All right, let's go to the next guy here real quick. Let's see if I got them in the right order here. RG England WX5 Fort Rock, Oregon. Have you ever heard of that?
I have not.
I hadn't either. He's got him an Elecraft KX3 there, an Alpha Mag Loop, and a Heil Pro 7 headset there.
Well, that's what he's all set up with right there.
Isn't that
He's looking good.
Look at him. He's up on a little mountain there, and it's just flat all around him. It'd be cool, wouldn't it?
It would be.
Man. Oh, let's see. Who's that? There's a John there. Hi, John. I don't know who that is.
Somebody just south of Shiloh.
All right, let's see. Here is. Oh, now, guys, hey, check this out. This is John Kovacs. This is WDAEOL, Vandalia, Ohio. That's kind of up around Dayton, isn't it?
No, it's over by Columbus. Well, it's not far from Dayton.
Oh, really?
That's where the National High School Trap Shooting Championships takes place, is in Vandalia.
Is that right?
Absolutely.
All right, cool. Well, hey, look, he's got 3 stations, he says, and he's got an FT1 that he had when he got his license, I think, back in 1977. He's got an FT2000, a Meritron AL80B amp, ICOM 746 Pro. Now, I want you to go to QRZ and check out John's site, WD8EOL. He has got, it looks like monoband beams for every band there is. Every 5 feet, he's got a beam up. At 70 feet, he's got a 6-meter antenna. That was at 70. At 65 foot, he's got something like a 15 foot, he's got a 20 meter. And at 55 foot, he's got a Force 10. And I mean, every 5 feet, he's got a major beam out there. Man, I don't know what he uses to turn all that with. Oh, well, wow. And here we go. We've got with us right here, this is Bill Boyer, KF5FEI. This is his Whisper portable station. I think he used this for the eclipse, and making some of the contacts during the eclipse. An FT817 and an MFJ 992 there. And
I liked it. That's looking good. That's
that's
portable
looking
there.
pretty good. Yeah. And let's get back here to let's get back in the studio here. And guys, I just want you to know, Walter Rook here, my friend Walter, KJ4UCE is not KJ4UCE anymore.
That's correct.
Do you remember who you are?
Sometimes.
Who are you?
November Romeo 3 Echo.
Oh, see, I had it wrote down wrong. I'm glad you said that.
Uh-oh.
I had V. I had NR3V, but you're Echo. Okay.
3 Echo.
November Radio 3 Echo. Got him a new license, guys. Boy, I tell you.
And I got a question about that. Does that cost me anything? I just
What, the
submitted
new
all
license?
these things. Yeah, and when they changed my call sign, I kept expecting to see you got to go pay your fee over here, and I can't find it.
Man,
Does
I don't
anybody
know. I've got to renew. I got to renew in January, but I'll tell you, maybe somebody in the chat room
Does
can
anybody
tell us.
know the answer to that?
Used to, you had to send $10 in. It used to be free, and then you had to send $10 in and all that. But hey, let me tell you, if the government gave you a new license and they didn't charge you, there's probably no charge.
Or there's a trick to it.
Or they would have held out on it,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Man. Hey, guys, and more exciting stuff, man. 630 meters. 630 meters is going to be open for ham use October the 16th. Also, 2,200 meters is going to be open. Now, 630 meters is 472 kilohertz. I think most of your HF radios will go down probably to that area to listen. I don't think they'll go down to the 2,200 meter band. 2,200 meter band is at 137 kilohertz. So Walter and I were just calculating some antennas. What do we do with that? Where's our antenna? Oh, it's right there.
Here it is over here. You go.
We're going to get on it. Hey, by the way, you have to register. You need, whether you want to use this band or not, you need to register. It doesn't cost any money, and if you go to our Facebook group, it'll tell you where to go. But there's a site to click on, and it's a very simple format. You fill out saying I want to have permission to operate on 630 meters, and what that does is it puts your information into the Utilities Commission, because the Utilities Commission are wanting to do basically broadband over power lines. And hams and the utilities can't, because they will interfere with each other. I think there's a 1,000 meter separation you have to have. So if you don't have this BP broadband over power, you know what I'm talking about. If they're not doing that yet in your area and you register, you got first dibs on that frequency, and they cannot put in, I don't think, if you read this, the FCC notice, they can't come within 1,000 feet and to interfere. So again, register. Even if you're not going to use it, it doesn't cost you anything to register to get permission to use the 630
Somebody
frequency.
says you need the lat long to fill out that form.
You do. Well, no, the form, it will take the latitude and longitude, but that's easy on internet. You just put your, get a Google map and zero in and
on your house.
And there's a place called Find My Latitude Longitude. Get your latitude longitude. That's all. Basically, all you do is provide your name, your address, your call letters, your lat and longitude, and you submit it. They've got 30 days to answer you. 30 days. If you do not hear from them, in 30 days, you're authorized.
You're good.
You're good. Now, I think the preferred thing is you do not want to hear from them. If you hear from them, that probably means they're interested in you not being able to do this. So, I submitted mine about a week ago. Again, go to, if you haven't joined W5KUB Facebook group, join it. There's a link in there, and it tells you all about this if you want to register. So man, now, we were just looking at this. 630 meter band, a half-wave dipole, is only about 1,000 feet long.
Mm-hmm.
Now, our houses aren't quite that far apart. But I'm thinking, man, if
we may be 1,300 or 1,400 feet.
If we ran a dipole between my house and your house, you could hook on to one end, and I could hook on the other end, and we could just talk through that wire, couldn't we?
If you put it 500 feet up here off the back in these trees,
Inverted V.
one leg can go, we'll put it at my house, and then we'll put one
That's
up here
right.
at the street.
Now, I think on that band, I'd probably want to go vertical myself. So, I'd probably want a quarter wave vertical.
I think
put some ground radios out, a quarter wave vertical. Now, a quarter wave vertical on 630 meters is only about 500 feet tall, I believe.
And you only have to notify the FAA if it exceeds 200 feet, but that's
I
pretty close
know.
to an airport, right?
I don't know. All right, now let's talk about the 2,200 meter band. Oh boy, this is even getting wilder. A half wavelength antenna on 2,200 meters is about 3,400 feet long. That's a half wave dipole. 3,400 feet. So a quarter wave would be 1,700. That might be kind of hard to get up here.
We're going to have a hard time making this a multi-band antenna.
Yeah. So now we've got a friend of ours, John Landridge, KB5NJD. He was on our show maybe a few months ago, and he gave us a talk on this because he has an experimental license before the FCC opened the band. He had an experimental license. He's actually, his signal's been heard, he's in Texas, his signal's been heard down in Hawaii and other places, and he shows us how to build some of this stuff. There are a few things out there, kits you can buy to get on the air and so forth, but this is going to be an interesting band. So we're gonna do this, man. I want to do that.
You're going to have to call Martin and see what kind of package kit he's got for these antennas.
I'm going to have to do that. Now, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee Hamfest. This is Cincinnati, Indiana. What did I say?
Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana.
I probably.
That's okay.
Yeah. Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana Hamfest. This is September 23rd.
This Saturday in Cincinnati.
Saturday, 23rd. It's in Cincinnati. You guys check that out. There was one more that somebody gave me in a chat in our Facebook group, but the picture was such a bad quality I couldn't read the dates and stuff on it. So I don't know who that was. So, all right. So, man, exciting night. Hey, we're going to do a show with Katie from Scotland. I don't know if that's going to happen next week or not. Katie is in England and Scotland this week. We'll be talking in the next few days. We're going to put together a show from Scotland, and we'll see how that goes. And wow, Walter got him a new ham call. Walter bought him a CAA 500 antenna analyzer. How you like it?
I love it. What a great piece of gear.
Yeah, you've already used it a couple times.
Yep, have 2 or 3 times.
It shows you how bad your antennas really are, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. That's the sad part.
Yeah. Oh, wow. All right. Hey, MFJ's coming up. I see. Is it next weekend? I'm going.
Yes, it's the 29th, 30th.
No, that would be next weekend. It'd be the weekend after, right?
Well, this coming weekend's the 23rd, which is that other ham fest this Saturday.
Oh, that's right.
But
So-
Starkville's the next weekend.
In
So
a week and
last
a
weekend March.
half, week and
Yeah.
6/10.
Exactly.
We're going to be going down to MFJ, and here we go. Let me put that up here. This is our friend Martin Jew, MFJ. If you guys don't know who Martin Jew is, Martin is the M in MFJ, and J is the Jew in MFA. So he's going to have a special station there, K5 MFJ. He's going to have
Well, that's his last name.
Martin Jew, that's his last
exactly.
name. He's going to give tours to anybody who wants to come down to see all those different facilities, and he's going to feed everybody Southern fried chicken at the park on Saturday. I know we've got Bill WZ1L in the chat room, and Bill's going to fly down from New England just to go to this. So that's going to be kind of cool. And I can't even name all of Martin's companies now. You got MFJ, you got Ameritron, you got Vectronics, you got Cushcraft, you got High Gain. And what's the other?
There's a bunch of them.
Yeah, a bunch of them.
them.
And what we're going to do is we're going to go down and we're going to do some filming of each of the different departments or each of the different companies. They're actually in different buildings. We're going to do some filming of each of the different buildings, so I can take you to show you the metal shop. This is where they make all their own metal cabinets, and they punch the holes in them, they bend them, and they silk screen, the stuff, and you'll see the
Nice.
lady doing the silk screen and all that. And what we're going to do, we're going to probably have that the Tuesday after for our Tuesday show, and we're going to have Martin Jew as a guest on our show, and we're going to talk about MFJ and all the different departments and companies and all that's going to be cool. And Martin's a cool guy to talk to. We'll probably talk about some old times. And
I wish I could go. I really even just for the fried chicken, if nothing else. The tour would be cool. I'd really love to go see all that.
Let's see what's going on in the chat room. Anything we missed here? Let's see. Let me scroll up real quick here. Let's see. Yeah, that's true. They have 30 days to object. If you don't receive any kind of correspondence back from them within 30 days, you're clear. So that's the way that that thing works. Okay. Jerry says they think they're using it at DTE Energy. Let's see. Walter, are you a member of the ARL? Did you answer that?
I did.
Okay. Let's see. No tin can on each end. Let's see. Okay. Let's see what Ron has to say. 137 kilohertz. Yeah, that's going to be a pretty narrow bandwidth on the whatever antenna we put up. Let's see. Bus leaves for airport. Okay.
That's Bill when he's getting ready to come down here to go down to Stark Vegas.
And when Bill WZ1L gets down here, we're going to invite him over to the studio here in the Ham Shack.
So he'll get a studio tour.
He's going to get a studio tour
That's
of
cool.
W5 studio, and let me tell you what he's going to see. He's going to see
all the studios or just one.
He's going to see some junk, man.
There you go.
He's going to see.
Here's your intro, Bill.
Yeah, here's your intro, Bill. If you want to come down to the W5KB studios, this is kind of a shot of what you're going to see. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
A small teaser.
All right. Hey, guys, I think we covered about everything. Hey, if you haven't joined our Facebook group, we've got over 6,000 members now. Click on the link at the top of the page. Join our Facebook group. It's just a ham radio hangout, and and it's a lot of neat stuff in here. It's 9:30. I'm going to go to hangout just to see if anybody's there. I'm not going to stay but a minute. I'm not going to stay.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Are you in a hurry to get out of here? All right, Walter and I are just going to go to hangout just for a second and see if anybody's there, and we're going to see how it goes. So everybody stay tuned. Show's not over. It could get exciting in a little while. Oh, if somebody will. Oh, there. Teresa put the hangout link in there.
Teresa,
thank you, Teresa. We'll have to up her. Take a 20% pay increase, right. Teresa. All right, so let me.
Or actually, we can save you 20% on a HRD.
We can do that. We can do that. All right, so let me see if I can get into Hangout. It's always a surprise, when you go to Hangout.
I don't see how you do all this.
So we're going to go to here. It's simple. So there's only 800 buttons you have to flip back and forth.
Yeah.
So let's go to Hangout here. And oh, look, we got some people in there.
Well, we're there.
We're there. Oh, look at there. Look at there, Ben. Are we
magical?
There's Jordan. There's Teresa. There's Jordan and Teresa. Who else we got in here? Let me get the right mouse here. We got William in there. Yeah, we got William in here, and we got. Hey, there's Mike. Mike, you gonna play your guitar tonight?
I don't know. My wife says I should play the guitar.
Come on, let's hear it. Come on. We've never had. I don't know if we had anybody do that before. Let me see if I can get you guys on. Here we go. All right, get the guitar. We got to have a few notes.
This will be another first. You got to hit a few.
Let me tell you, I can play any song on most instruments, but I can only play one bar.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that means.
One note.
Yeah, one note basically. Okay, here. Look at this. Look at this. Look at it. All right, we're gonna have some fun here, guys. All right. All right. Do you? I don't know what kind of music he plays. You know any Leonard Skinner or
Leonard Skinner?
All right, guys. This is gonna be a first on W5KUB. Mike Carper. This is going to be his premiere.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Yeah.
Well, I forgot.
All right. Well, hey, I could pull out the Guitar Hero and knock out a few tunes myself, But
he's gonna be back on tour in no time.
Yeah. Hey, after this, we're gonna want a commission. Well, man, we got Dan in here tonight. Dan, I hadn't seen you and hang out in a long time. Dan, well, how you been doing?
I've been around.
Okay, cool. You watch any of the show tonight?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay. Let's see who else we got in here. Boy, we got the Ooper up there. Hello, Ooper.
Yeah, he's the Ooper.
Hey, wait a minute. The Ooper's going to play his harmonica.
The Ooper King.
Let's get this thing going. Play a harmonica. We'll put a band together. Right?
Yeah, let's put. Well, I don't have the video here, but Mike, you should see the band that we put together at Huntsville, and I actually had a video here. You guys talk. I'm gonna find a video.
Now, don't you play the spoons or the washboard?
I played the sax. Let me find something here. Hang on, y'all go ahead. I'll be right back.
Where's Jay? Right back. Under a bus and get him to come play either his harmonica or acoustic guitar.
Who's that?
Who's that?
One of my roommates.
Okay, cool.
Very good. Lisa, he's still going.
Okay. I about got it here. Soul Man.
There it
Soul
is.
Man 2, Soul Man. let me bring this up. Okay, all right. You know, people think hams can't do this kind of stuff, right? Hey, Richard, we're going to get that microphone. We're going to have to, and then look, I want you to do this, to get them a little audio, I want you to put that right there and turn that up in a minute, okay? Check this out, man. This is Huntsville Hamfest. Check it out.
Brace for impact.
Oh, what happened? Feedback detector. Hang on.
Coming to ya on a dusty road. Good loving, I got a truckload. And when you get it, you got some. Don't worry, 'cause I'm coming. I'm a soul man.
That's me on the sax back.
I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man. Got what I got the hard way. I'll make it easy each and every day. So don't worry, don't you fret, 'cause you ain't seen nothing yet. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man. Now listen.
Okay, so
On the side street,
anyway, you kind of get the gist of that. Now, what we've got there, let me
I
show you
was educated.
what we've got there. We have Joe Eisenberg in there. He's on the guitar, SK0NEB, and guy up front's Emmett, W0QH, what radio wave?
Radio waves.
Radio waves.
Yep.
On the front there, we had Richard Stubbs from MFJ. That was me on a saxophone back there. Don Wilbanks back here. He was singing. And look, guys, let me show you something. You can buy this. Well, look, first of all, we the year before we did Bad to the Bone. We did Bad to the Bone, and we were selling this for $19.99 right there. We still have a few thousand of them left. And then we've got, if you want to go to the one we just did there, this is last year at Huntsville. This is the Soul Man right here on our 35 KUB tour. This one is $2.99 sale price right here.
And you have more of those left than the others, right?
And we got about 4,000 of these
Yeah,
left.
you got a lot more of those.
All right, now who else wants to play?
Hey.
Oh, man.
Coming on.
Let me tell you, I had a good time tonight.
This has been a good show.
This has been a good show. Let's see what they're saying in the
Very
chat room.
informative.
Let's see, anything, you know, we might have run a few people off.
Something about quit singing. Something, I don't know.
Let's see. Yes, I can.
Oh, Bill's looking forward to seeing the studio. You're going to like it.
I got rid of most of my boat anchors. We're going to try to have a show to tell you what you can build and where you can get equipment to operate those frequencies. That'll come up pretty soon. Is that really my bench, my workbench? That's my workbench. Let's see, right there behind us. That's my workbench behind us, right there.
That is indeed it.
That's it. And let's see what else. Microscope. Yep, got a microscope over there. My eyes are getting bad, but I tell you, you can take a straight pin or a needle, and it looks like a baseball bat in that microscope. Spark transmitter would work. Yep. Okay. Bad to the bone. See this week. Okay, Jerry wants to. He's got a question for Mike. Are the colors changing in how you say it? Marquette, Michigan?
He's a Yooper.
That's an Ooper question.
That is.
For whom?
That's an Ooper question. Well, they said ask Mike. Now Mike is up in Chicago right now.
I am in Chicago, but I will tell you this: the leaves are definitely changing up here in
Yeah.
Chicago.
Cool. Let's get the
I
Ooper.
have a house in Dallas, and I live in Dallas, but I work in Chicago. The leaves are changing up here for sure. Chicago, Dallas happens to still be rather warm, thankfully.
Yeah. Well, how about it, Mike the Ooper? Mike, how's it up where you are?
For me,
Yeah.
it's probably 70s.
Oh, I'm sorry. We got too many mics in here.
Okay.
We got
Am I
too
in
many
here now?
mics.
This
There I
mic.
am.
We got Mike the Ooper.
Yeah, Mike. I had to go out and back in again like I usually do. So, tell him for Jerry, the leaves are slowly, not much, but they're starting their tinge up here. So,
All right, very good. Well, hey, don't worry, man. It'll be at least a week or two before y'all start getting ice and snow up here. Hey, up! He's got his drums, Mike.
Uh-oh. Little percussion going here.
hey, get the guitar going, get the drums going. I can bring on my bass guitar too if I want.
Y'all may wind up on Beale Street.
All right. Well,
We're a
nobody,
serious bunch of guys.
nobody
Yeah.
can't say we didn't have fun on our show tonight.
That's it.
You know.
I had heard someone say that there's a correlation between people who play music and CW operators.
Yeah, I read that.
Let's say you.
Hell, I play some music, but no CW.
Ah,
Same word. Jordan, you're
I
awful.
don't play chords. I don't play chords either. I play my electric bass guitar or the bongo drums when I'm out. So I just play the notes for them.
playing chords on a bass guitar. That's
Let me bring Jordan in here. Hey, Jordan, you look like a cutout piece of cardboard there, man. Move around, and say something.
yeah. It's rather static there, isn't he?
Yeah.
What did he do? What happened to him?
He's alive.
Is he? Well, I don't know what's going on there. I don't know. We're not seeing his video.
Looks like he timed out. There he is.
There he is. Right here. All right, man. Look, can you do it?
Tennessee are you guys in?
What kind of what?
What part of Tennessee?
Southwest.
We're in Collierville, Tennessee. That's just right outside of Memphis.
Oh,
We're about 20 miles southeast of Memphis, but in the same county.
you're next to Elvis.
Yeah, I had lunch with him today.
Kind of. Yeah.
Did you guys get rain from the storms that went up through there?
Yeah,
yes,
we
yes,
did.
we did. Yes,
but
we
you know,
did.
I don't think it did a
Well.
lot, did it? Maybe we got an inch or so, but it just rained solid for like 24 or 30 hours or
Did I send
something.
you that video?
Huh? No, did you send me a video?
It looked to
Yeah,
me
where I was sitting at work.
like
I
Hurricane
didn't see it.
They
Harvey
closed the ramp
went up
for
Oh,
2.5
man.
hours.
Well, you know,
We got
Walter,
through Houston
Yeah.
and then turned up towards Memphis, and then Irma went up through Florida and turned towards Memphis.
yeah, that's the one I was thinking of, the Irma that went through Florida here, but yeah, the
Yeah.
other one came up too.
we got a lot of
Walter,
rain. We got 6 or 8 inches out of that.
Walter is a wide body person. Or look at that. He's a wide body A300 pilot, and he flies for FedEx. And you said they closed the ramp that night out here.
No, it was one afternoon when the rains came through. We had a 2.5 hour delay just sitting there.
I don't think we
we
got that
couldn't-
much rain out here in Collierville.
Oh, it poured down. We got 6 or 8 inches.
Now,
I'm sorry, what plane do you fly?
Airbus,
here, the Airbus, the A300.
300?
the big 300, 310 series. Yes, sir.
Yeah. He gonna slip me in after I retired from there about 4 years ago, but he gonna slip me back into the simulator here one day, and I'm gonna get me a pilot's job out there.
You need to.
Yeah.
I used to fly about 100,000 miles a year as a passenger.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry.
I'm
Yeah.
down to about 50,000 now.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah,
a lot.
I used to do a lot too, but you know, Walter, during all that bad weather, man. I mean, you did you have to fly any in it yourself, or I mean,
I was out there that Thursday afternoon when it got so bad. We
Yeah.
sat there almost 3 hours waiting for it to clear up enough to where we could legally
Yeah.
go.
Do you guys have passenger seats in those planes?
We have a few jump seats that our pilots and other
employees.
No employees can go. You have to have a license, whether it's a mechanic or a dispatcher.
What do you mean?
Oh,
I used
yeah.
to fly all the time.
Yeah,
Man.
they don't let them go anymore.
Have they stopped that?
Oh, right after 9/11.
No, we flew after. I mean, I flew till.
Maybe on business, but you,
Well, yeah,
you
I
can't
flew on
just
business.
go.
Yeah, used to we could fly.
Business, right,
We
but I
we
mean,
used to could fly on their personal,
Yeah.
and then after 9/11, they took the personal out. But I still flew a lot. Business on there,
Every
yeah.
once in a it has to go up
Yeah.
and be approved way up, but every
Yeah,
once in a while you'll
yeah.
see somebody.
But I was going to say, I wouldn't worry. I mean, I've flown up there with you guys before, and the storm's coming in. In fact, usually you wait till the storm gets there before you take off. You
Oh,
know?
sure.
So it's not like you try to get out before the storm hits, right?
That's the exciting part.
You stay there. And one time I was going to jump seat down to Puerto Rico, and I could see the bad weather coming in, man, and we didn't have a lifeboat on the airplane. And man, we kept waiting for a lifeboat,
Yep, can't go without it.
And they finally got the lifeboat. And when they put the lifeboat on the plane, I mean, the visibility went to like 10 feet. I mean, I never saw so much rain coming down, lightning. And then we may have been delayed a little bit, but we took off. But let me tell you, you guys have got it easy. The guy, he just punches the buttons, the thing goes down the runway, it goes up in the air like a bullet. And before he even levels out, he puts the newspaper across the window up there and he starts eating.
What's wrong with that?
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's not a very hard job, is it?
Well, let me ask you this question then. It seems to me that if a cell phone could really interfere with the navigation system of the airplane, they wouldn't let the cell phone on the plane in the first place. I mean, I was landing in Chicago here a while back, and it was in really foggy conditions. The pilot said, "Hey, it's really foggy up here. We're going to go ahead and land this. Let the computer land this thing. I need everybody to make sure you've turned off your cell phones and all that stuff." Do we really believe that a cell phone is going to disrupt the navigation systems of the airplane?
Personally, I don't believe it, but there may be others that do.
Well, it's been tested because I saw on TV the other day, they interviewed this lady. She said she knows that doesn't interfere with the airplanes because she used her cell phone when we were coming down and it did not crash.
Exactly right. Well, what happened back in the early days of cell phones, they couldn't track from cell phone to cell phone which tower the call had been made from. They didn't know how to bill the minutes to the user. And so they said, I'm thinking they got to come up with a way to stop that, so just don't use them.
I've even used my HT in here. Of course, I was sitting right behind the pilot. I think this was probably a 727 back many years ago.
Back in the day, yeah.
And I flew to Dayton Hamvention, and one night I flew up there, and I already had some people there at Dayton waiting on us. And I was sitting right behind the pilot. I had my HT and asked him. He said, "Yeah, it's okay." He said, "Just key it a couple times. Let me see if it doesn't do anything." Of course, it didn't do anything.
Yeah, it doesn't go off.
I made a call, talked to my.
It didn't crash. Go ahead and talk.
It didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't crash. So
That's a good
I
thing.
talked to my friend down here on the ground, and the pilot even flashed the lights, on the airplane, so my friend could see it's coming in. Do y'all have like a light dimmer on the floor, or how you work that?
What, our headlights?
Yeah, how you work that?
They have switches.
Oh
They wouldn't put the dimmer in for me.
man, well, you already get that mod, man. Put that dimmer in, or they're like the old
Exactly.
cars where you just press with your foot.
Interesting story. I met a guy one day years and years ago. He was an older gentleman, 90 at the time. He was a World War I ace,
Oh man,
and he actually invented that dimmer switch on the floor of the car,
is that right?
and he had the patent for it.
Cool. Well, the guy must have stole it. That put the starter switch on some of the old trucks. Do you remember
Probably.
the starter switch? It looked just like the dimmer switch. Do you ever see that?
I remember. All I remember was
Kinda-
a screwdriver across
It was
the
over by
screws.
the gas pedal. Anybody in hangout remember that? It was right by the gas pedal. Looked like a dimmer switch. You press the gas pedal down and you hit the starter.
Yep, I remember that. Yeah, if I drive a bus, I drive a bus. I still got my left foot hits the bright dimmer switches on
Yep.
the floor.
Look, man. Hey, when you get up in when you get up in a plane, you're the captain, and you can do anything you want, right?
Within reason.
I mean, my understanding is that you're the boss up here. You can marry people. You can do anything you want to.
No, I'm not doing that.
When you're up there, and you're flying. So look, man, we could put a long wire out to tail that plane.
hanging it, just let it drag out the
We
back.
could, we could put that 630 meter long wire out the back of that plane, and you could put Walter has. I finally talked to him into trying to use the HF radio in the airplane, and you did make a contact here a while back, right?
I did. It's been a while, but I've made a contact with a guy.
That's cool.
Yeah. Now look, I'd be over Little Rock before this thing ran out.
Oh yeah. Well, that one for sure. Look at
that.
Yeah. That's 6,000.
Before it strapped, where we got a half meter of this thing, 2,200, whatever that is.
Yeah.
That'd be 140 miles over there.
Now the antenna.
I've had lots of occasions where I've worked DX from an airplane, but then again, I'm doing it by remote controlling my station.
There you go.
Yeah. So Walter, on an airplane, on the HF frequencies require a fairly significant size antenna. But how big's the antenna on like your A300? I mean, how big's the antenna? What's it built into? What do you think?
Maybe a foot, and they're they're composite.
Yeah.
And it's an elliptical shaped thing. It's two on the top, two on the bottom, one on the top, and they got to be about that deep.
Yeah.
Maybe about like that. It's quite the compromise.
But I guess that high and kind of line of sight, you don't need much, antenna.
We could actually fly in a small airplane around here. We could drag that on the ground.
You could. You know what else you could do? I don't know if security let you. We could put one of those antennas from the tail back to the cockpit. Like the old World War II planes had the wire.
We'll have to make about 20 loops.
Yeah. Cool. Hey.
Always something to play with.
Y'all are having with this.
What was that?
With this.
I missed that. What was that?
What was the question? Again. What was the question?
I said y'all are having with.
He's Jordan. You're freezing. You're freezing on.
He's locking up on us.
Yeah. You said, have you ever had? I'll ask. Have you ever had an emergency in all the years you've been flying, or is it
a few?
Pretty?
A few.
What's the worst one you think?
Had engine problems. Have had hydraulic issues.
Yeah. Well, you got extra engines, right?
Sure. You just start the one that's not running.
That's no big deal.
Yeah.
So you got extra engines. One of the pilots told me one time when I was jump seating, a lot of them are fighter pilots. Do you know a lot of your co-workers out there come from the military, right?
A lot do, yes.
Yeah, a lot of them are pilots. And they said, the new 777s, I think we got, they hold a lot of fuel, man.
Way too much.
Can they just about fly around the world? I mean,
No.
they can go from here to Australia, right? Probably.
Well, we go from here to Mumbai, which used to be Bombay.
Yeah.
We can go direct to Narita. We can go direct to Jensen, China.
Well, he was telling me, he says there's no such thing as too much fuel unless you're on fire.
Exactly right.
That's what his statement was, man.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Unless you don't want to go that far. Now, I don't want to spend 14 or 15 hours in one of those tubes.
Well, look, I'm sure nobody at FedEx security or upper management is watching right now.
No, I'm sure not.
So I'll just tell a story. I mean, I flew in a 10 to Stansted in England one night, and the pilot, left seat pilot, he gets up and tells me to get in. He want to know if I want to sit there, I go, oh, no, it's okay. He says, no, go ahead and sit down. He made me sit in a seat, and so I sat there, and he left for about an hour. I don't know where he went, man. It might have been the food, you guys, I don't know, but
it's not worth leaving it for an hour for.
But he, but you know what? Y'all guys like to play tricks on each other, because I know as soon as he went in that bathroom, the co-pilot started flipping these beepers on, ding, 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 fasten seat belts, ding, ding, all that.
That may have occurred.
Yeah, that kind of stuff occurs. Well, I know back in the early days, before we got into the big stuff, even the 727s, we flew the Dassault Falcons, the little jets, and jump seat in there was just a board basically that tilted over between the two seats. And let me tell you, those guys, they like to show off. And if you jump seated, you had to take them cookies, or you would be in big trouble, man.
I understand. Unfortunately, that rite of passage has passed
That's
us by.
gone now, yeah.
That was a real nice treat, and it was a nice gesture when it occurred, but it's
Nobody
been
brings you cookies anymore.
rarely.
Did you guys ever see the movie Catch Me If You Can?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
I did.
I
The
did.
guy who was the set to that movie, I met him once, Frank Abagnale.
Yeah,
And,
the subject of the movie.
Guy that pitched himself off as a lawyer and a pilot
Yeah.
and a doctor and all this stuff. Interesting story, but there's the true story where he flushed himself down the toilet in an airplane to get away.
Whoa. Do what now? He did what?
I must have missed that part of it.
So what he did was when he had been captured in Europe, the FBI was bringing him back to the United States, and when he got here, if I remember the story correctly, right before they landed, he decided he was going to go to the bathroom. He went in the bathroom, locked himself in, and dismantled the toilet, and somehow managed to get down inside the body of the plane. By the time they landed, he managed to somehow get out of the plane without coming out of the passenger
Man.
exit.
Oh man, I tell you, he would have looked like a Smurf if he did that.
Yeah, I gotta say, if you're a little purple.
Yeah, a little.
Yeah.
They could have followed the smell and found him.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh gee.
Interesting, funny stuff.
Hey, I was going to say, Tom, a while ago, you're talking about 630 meters kilohertz. 630 meters, right?
Yeah.
So, it seems to me that rather than building an antenna that's about the size of Cook County, Chicago, it seems to me that someone could put a light bulb outside their window and then work some DX on FT8, right? I mean, we were talking about that.
Yeah, probably so. But we're gonna have John Langridge on probably in a few weeks, and he already showed us the antennas. They were using experimental antennas. I think they were like 30 feet, 60 feet tall. The coils at the bottom, the actual coils that he had wound at the bottom were wound on like Home Depot 5-gallon buckets, and that was their coils, and they have some pretty high voltages there.
Could you use Christmas lights? What if I'm gonna copy that down.
Oh, okay.
What if
Or just take it.
you don't want that?
No, you can take it.
Oh, thanks. Could you just use a string of Christmas lights?
Well, I mean, the string's going to become part of the antenna too. I
Yeah.
mean, the thing is, you can tune anything up just about with a tuner. I mean, it may not be very efficient. It may only be 0.00001 efficient, but you can tune it up.
We'll put the comment on it and see how it does.
You can make it look like a 50 ohm load to your radio, but
It's not going to do
it
anything.
might not work real well. But hey, I am. Let's me and you. Let's do our FT8 stuff or our PSK31 or whatever's best for low signal noise. Let's do the light bulb test.
Okay.
Let's do a clothes hanger and let's do a umbrella. And
All right.
we might start selling umbrella antennas.
That's exactly right. A hambrella, like a Brock umbrella, goes over your head like this.
That would be a good branding technique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Invert the umbrella like a hex beam.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's an ugly.
Don't tell him
It
it.
works though.
I hate to see how you have to work the grounding radials.
Yeah. Yeah. The ground rays. Well, guys, I'm going to get off here. I'm going to get off here. I think Walter's probably going to be cutting out here. Are you on call this week? Or are you off?
Yeah,
this week?
starting tomorrow. Go back on tomorrow.
He may be called to fly in a storm or something tomorrow.
I hope not.
You don't like flying in storms?
Not really.
How long? How many years you been a pilot now?
Total?
Yeah.
35.
Do you ever get worried about flying?
Just
Hey, by the way, in case you guys are interested, we've had on the coupon code that I opened up in the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've had several orders so far on that. So you got
That's cool.
helping us make some sales.
That's cool.
Very good.
That's cool. I know Jordan watching here. Jordan's going to order one. Teresa's probably going to order a couple.
No, I.
Hey, Tom, we're
Yeah?
a college student.
Oh,
Not gonna happen.
Uh-oh.
Okay. All right.
Where do you go? Where are you in
Local
school?
community college.
Okay.
Weatherford.
Okay.
And where?
Weatherford, Texas.
Okay, very good.
You're Dallas?
I know Jordan's watching here. Jordan's going to order one.
Wait a minute. Texans actually get a special discount.
Yeah, I would say they probably would get a discount.
Mike at HRD Software LLC.
Where do you go?
All right, guys. Hey, I'm gonna get off here and visit with Walter just for a minute. Hey, you had a good time tonight. We'll try to put a band together next week. You know, so everybody be practicing. Get your instruments out. I'll try to find the sax. I'll get the Guitar Hero out. If y'all can play the songs on the Guitar Hero, I can play along with you.
Uh-oh.
All right, 73. Everybody, good night.
Thanks, everybody. Good night. 7-3.
All right, we'll see you.
Thanks, Mike. See y'all later.
Good evening.
All right, guys. Anybody still watching the show? 73 to you. Thanks a lot. We enjoyed it. We'll see you later. My supper time. I ain't anything to eat tonight.